to our last stop.
Upgrade project that we are in the process of finaling. This project started last fall in terms of construction. As part of it, the lift station was built in 1968. It serves a very large portion of large drainage areas south of 36. The old station had 2 existing pumps that were in need of upgrading, and we replaced those with 2 200 horsepower pumps, so they're very large. You'll see they're almost as tall as you or I. The other major part of the lift station project was actually, well, first of all, getting rid of the transformers, which were actually located in the flood zone or the bounce of the pond, so that didn't make a lot of sense. So relocated the transformers and then also added a very large generator which can run the pumps in case of a power outage, and that's kind of shown in the photo there. Basically, it pumps into a force main, and that force main pumps to the north, and that discharges up towards New Brighton. The new pumps we have are VFD pumps instead of a standard pump that just starts and stops. These pumps can be variable. They're variable frequency, so you can control how much you want to pump at a time. So we have a lot more control over the bounce of the pond. So if we just get a light rain, we can run them at a lower, output. So we have a lot more control than we ever had. And then also as part of the upgrades, we just have a lot more, some better lighting and some better security around the whole site.
And this stormwater system, so the water that flows into this pond is pretty much all the water south of this point, or south of 36, kind of west of Fairview,
Yep.
South of 36 to probably about not quite all the way to Larpenteur. So it's a pretty big area that is draining through this area.
Is it south 36 to Larpenteur?
Yep.
Wow. Lift station had 3 pumps on it, and they were different sizes. And we didn't have that variable frequency drive set up, so we didn't have as much, like Jesse said, we didn't have as much control over it. We had a lot of issues with this lift station, a lot of maintenance issues. We had a couple of storm events where we were sandbagging, and the buildings adjacent to the pond were flooded. The old Dutch plant that's just upstream of here was flooding. So hopefully some of these improvements will help with that. Certainly having that generator there will help in those, because when it's raining, it might be storming. They sometimes go hand in hand, and so when you lose power and it's raining, that can be a problem. And this was the size of this this lift station, this pumping station was such that there were only a couple of generators that we could rent in the region, and so it wasn't like we could get a portable generator like that if we needed one. And then, of course, if we're out of power, probably some other people are out of power, and then we're competing with other agencies in that for possibly the same generator. So having our own permanent generator there helps a lot in that regard too.
Because isn't 0.6 million volt amps a pretty big generator?
Yeah. It's very large.
It seems like a big one.
For the transformers that got moved, these were located down right next to the lift station before. So in the actual flood zone. And this is the brand new generator. So as you can see, it's very large. They had a huge crane here to set it. So it's capable of running both the lift station pumps at the same time. So obviously the little one is one of the old pumps, and the 2 big green ones are the motors with the pumps attached below, and then they both tie into a 36-inch force main. So when that goes out and then heads up to the north. Force main is basically a pressurized pipe, so it's all under pressure until it discharges. The controls are located at the back on top of the lift station. So those have all been upgraded for the VFD pumps. So this pond is connected underneath this building to the other pond that's on frontage road. So it's a rather large pond. Offhand, Ryan, do you know how deep that is? There's a fair amount of bounce here, but as you can imagine, under a big storm with as large of a drainage area. Yeah, so as soon as most of the site stuff's done, but they will be paving a maintenance pathway, and then everything else around here will be vegetated.
But you're going to have a fence around here.
Yep,
right?
this fence is going to remain. This is the new fence. It's all the fence. It used to, I think the fence only used to come up to about just to the edge here, so we got a little more of a work yard.